Welcome to Grand Prix, your favorite place for the fastest Formula One news. We have 3 exciting stories for you, so make sure to follow us and turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Let's start. Gabriel Bortoleto didn't have his best race ever at the British Grand Prix, but what he did after his car broke down early made fans around the world love him even more. It showed how nice the Brazilian driver really is. Even when he's not racing, the race started when it was tricky to drive because the track kept changing between wet and dry spots. This made teams take big chances with different plans, hoping to do better than other teams. Sadly for Bortoleto, his team decided to take a really big risk by putting special dry weather tires on his car while parts of the track were still wet. This gamble could have worked out great if the track dried up quickly, but that's not what happened. On his 3rd lap with the dry tires, Bortoleto lost control of his car at a really fast corner called Stowe. His car spun around and hit the wall. Softly, but it still broke the front part of his car. This meant the Brazilian driver had to stop racing on lap 4. It was really frustrating, especially because his teammate Nico Hülkenberg, who kept the wet weather tires on, was slowly moving up to better positions. Hülkenberg's driving was absolutely amazing. With steady speed and great skill in the mixed wet and dry conditions, the German driver got his very first Formula One podium by finishing in 3rd place. It was a historic moment for him and his team, who had been working super hard to get back to fighting with the best cars. Many fans couldn't help but think that if Bortoleto had used the same plan, maybe he could have been fighting for the podium too. Even though Bortoleto was naturally disappointed about leaving the race early, what he did after the race got even more attention than his short time in it. Instead of quietly going back to the team area, fans and official cameras saw the Brazilian running toward the place where cars park after the race. As soon as Hülkenberg parked his car, Bortoleto climbed over the barriers, rushed past Lando Norris, and became the very first person to congratulate his teammate. The hug between the two was really sweet, with Bortoleto looking emotional and happy even though his own race ended badly. A little later, the team shared the radio message Bortoleto sent to Hülkenberg after the podium was confirmed. "Gee, man, you did it. What an incredible race. You totally deserve this result. I'm proud to share the garage with you today." This act of celebrating his teammate's success even after his own disappointment didn't go unnoticed. Social media was filled with people praising Bortoleto's maturity and good sportsmanship. Comments like, "This is how future champions act," and Bortoleto proving he's not only talented, but also a really good person became popular on Twitter and Instagram. Fernando Alonso, who was Bortoleto's mentor when he raced in F2, even shared the video with the words, "Class and humility, that's what makes the difference." Besides making his image as a rising star even better, this gesture made the positive feeling within the team even stronger. In a sport as competitive as Formula One, where teammates often become bitter enemies, seeing Bortoleto support Hülkenberg's win shows the kind of character that helps teams do well under pressure. Now the big question is, how will Gabriel Bortoleto come back after Silverstone? So far, the Brazilian has had a solid first season, scoring points and getting praise from news reporters around the world. With the car getting better steadily and the team trusting him more, there's every reason to believe he can turn this setback into a chance for even stronger performances in the upcoming races. What about you? What did you think of Bortoleto's actions? Do you believe this way of thinking could be the key to him becoming one of Formula One's greatest drivers? And with the team getting more competitive, is a podium finish for Bortoleto still possible this season? Christian Horner is facing the biggest crisis of his career as team boss, with pressure building to an all-time high after Red Bull's disappointing performance at the British Grand Prix, according to a report from GP Blog. The possibility of Horner leaving, whether by choice or being forced out, is now more realistic than ever. The environment inside Red Bull, which has been showing problems for several months, has reportedly reached a critical point. Since Dietrich Mateschitz, the team's founder and owner, passed away, Horner has slowly taken more and more control of the organization. However, this concentration of power is now being heavily questioned, not only by important people within, the team but also by people close to Max Verstappen, for Verstappen's inner circle. Horner is seen as a main reason for the growing problems at Red Bull. They believe his leadership style and the toxic atmosphere it has created are directly hurting the team's unity and performance. Because of this, there's a growing feeling that either Horner's influence must be greatly reduced, or he must step aside completely if Red Bull hopes to keep Verstappen beyond 22.5. This once unthinkable situation is now being seriously talked about, not just within Red Bull Racing but also at the highest levels of Red Bull GmbH, the parent company. The team's recent decline on track, combined with these internal power struggles, has caused concerns about its long-term ability to compete. Sources suggest Horner himself knows about the mounting pressure and is worried about his position, adding, "To the tension, Verstappen's future with Red Bull remains uncertain. While the four-time world champion has said he prefers to stay, he hasn't ruled out leaving if the internal situation doesn't get better. His departure could cause a mass exit of key staff and engineers, further hurting Red Bull's performance in the upcoming regulation era." With Verstappen expected to renegotiate his contract during the summer break in August, time is running out for Red Bull's leadership. The question hanging over Milton Keynes is whether they are willing to sacrifice Horner's position to keep their star driver or risk losing both Verstappen and their dominance in Formula One. What do you think? Are we about to see a huge shakeup at Red Bull to secure Verstappen's loyalty? Or will the team stand firm, potentially pushing Max toward a rival like Mercedes or Aston Martin for 2026? Drop your thoughts below. Would you side with Horner or Verstappen in this brewing power struggle? This past weekend's race had plenty of excitement, but there was one standout moment that caught the attention of fans and commentators: Nico Hülkenberg's amazing third-place finish. It wasn't just any podium, it was the very first in his entire Formula One career. A milestone he had been chasing for years. Known for his consistency and experience on the track, Hülkenberg had long been considered one of the most talented drivers never to reach the podium. But this time, everything came together. The driver put in a rock-solid performance, taking advantage of his car's steady improvement and executing a race that left no room for doubt. As the checkered flag waved, he found himself next to the two McLaren drivers, a moment that put him in the spotlight. The celebration from Hülkenberg and his team was electric, given how unexpected this result was. The joy in the garage and among his crew was impossible to miss. It was a reward not only for the driver's persistence, but also for the non-stop work done behind the scenes to improve the car's performance. After years of close calls and frustration, finally stepping onto the podium was a long overdue payoff. It was the kind of story that fans love, one that reminds us why we watch the sport in the first place. Yet, amid all the applause and congratulations, a moment during the post-race press conference drew a surprising amount of attention. It wasn't about strategy or tire choices, nor did it involve a technical detail about the car. Instead, it came from a seemingly harmless question asked by Oscar Piastri, who had finished just ahead of Hülkenberg in second place, with a tone that suggested genuine curiosity or perhaps playful teasing. Piastri asked Hülkenberg about the material of the trophy he had just received. On the surface, it might have sounded like a lighthearted moment between colleagues, but it quickly sparked discussion online and among fans. Some interpreted the question as a subtle jab or even a bit of disrespect, while others saw it as an indirect criticism of Formula One's sometimes inconsistent approach to trophies and awards. Was Piastri pointing out a flaw in how podium finishes are celebrated, or was it just an offhand comment not meant to carry any weight? The debate, as often happens in motorsport, took on a life of its own. Hülkenberg, for his part, handled the situation with the humor and grace that have earned him respect throughout the paddock. Still glowing from the thrill of finally reaching the podium, he took the question in stride. His response, filled with dry wit, made it clear that he wasn't too concerned about whether the trophy was made of silver or something else entirely. What mattered to him, and to everyone who had followed his long journey in the sport, was the result itself. He had finally done it. The material of the trophy could hardly dampen the moment. That brief exchange in the press room became symbolic. In its own way, it highlighted how much a single podium can mean to a driver, and how even small details can stir conversation in a sport watched by millions. It also reminded everyone that Formula One is as much about personality and storylines as it is about speed and engineering. Moments like these add texture to the season, creating memories that go beyond lap times and finishing positions.